I'm joined now by Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, Democrat from Illinois. He's the ranking member on the House Select Committee on the Strategic Competition between the U.S. and China and a member of the House Intelligence Committee. He is also running for the Illinois Senate seat being vacated by Dick Durbin. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us here on Meet the Press Now. I want to get to foreign policy in just a moment, but first I want to ask you, do you agree with Senator Murphy that President Biden had suffered some cognitive decline while still in office?
I think he definitely showed signs of age. In my personal dealings with him, I never saw a loss of acuity or cogency or anything like that. But it's kind of like, Donald Trump nodding off at the welcome ceremony in Saudi Arabia, or confusing Nikki Haley and Nancy Pelosi. I think at this point we know that it was good for him to step aside, for Harris to enter the fray. But at this point, we just need a new generation of thinking and perspectives to kind of guide us on the way forward in the Democratic Party.
Now, Congressman, point taken that President Trump has, had some moments where, his critics say he's been rambling, or perhaps where, he has appeared to nod off at some event. But if you read this book, it has a number of disturbing revelations with regards to President Biden, how his staff limited, the amount of time that he would be up working. When you hear those revelations, though, it seems to go a little bit further than what you're describing. Do you agree with that?
I haven't seen the book. I haven't kind of delved into the details. All I know is my personal dealings with him. I'm not saying that I met him every day or anything like that, but in my personal dealings with him, I didn't see, the types of allegations that are being made about him. Mm-hmm. All that being said, I think he made the right decision and stepped aside. And I think that now we know we need to move forward.
Do you think, though, his late exit from the race cost Democrats the White House?
I think that looking back, a robust primary process probably would have helped. But at the same time, I think that Harris made a hell of a run, in my opinion. And I think that the issue that kind of bedeviled us ultimately was the economy, and we didn't focus enough on the economic plight of Americans and trying to make sure that government was an indispensable partner in their pursuit of the American dream. I think that's the central takeaway for me personally, and something that I hear repeatedly from my constituents and others.
So on that message of the economy, so what do you think Democrats' message should be to voters in 2026 and 2028?
I think the message has to be, right now we're in a time of economic chaos and uncertainty unleashed by Donald Trump, and millions of people feel like the American dream is slipping from them even more than before, if it's not impossible at this point. And so we have to be the ones that, stand up to Donald Trump and, again, make the American dream attainable. What do I mean by that? If you're working poor, we want to make sure that social safety net. I'm a product of public housing and food stamps, so this is personal to me. We want to make sure that social safety net is available to help you when you're down as you're kind of climbing the economic ladder. And then if you're in the middle class, you want to make sure that you can buy a home for the first time. And if you're a senior, we got to make sure Social Security and Medicare are there for you so you can retire with dignity. Those are among the topics that I think that we have to continue to address on the campaign trail. And
before we switch to foreign policy, one more question on this point. Why should voters trust Democrats, considering the revelations about President Biden's mental state?
Well, I think they don't like what they're seeing right now. That's for sure. And whether it's people, paying a lot more for groceries at the local store, or small businesses, facing tremendous chaos with regard to these tariffs that they see. They don't like it. We Democrats, on the other hand, we have to make sure that we offer a competing proposition, which is how do we make sure government works better, that it's more effective, that it's more efficient, and that it helps you as you pursue your economic potential. And that has to be, to me, at the heart of our message and our policymaking as well.
Well, it sounds to me like you and many other Democrats would like to move forward. Switching gears now, President Trump has indicated that the U.S. is close to reaching a deal with Iran on its nuclear program. What needs to be part of that agreement for you to support it?
Well, I think that what's extremely important is that Iran not only stop the development of a nuclear weapon, but it also, stop with its nefarious activities in the Middle East neighborhood, so to speak, whether it's funding Hamas or Hezbollah or the Houthis or others who are just wreaking chaos in different countries. And also, quite frankly, I'd like to see its ballistic missile program also under check, because those ballistic missiles are extremely dangerous across the neighborhood and potentially to U.S. interests as well. So I'd like to see something comprehensive so that we can welcome Iran back into the neighborhood, so to speak.
And because there's so many international crises, I want to move to another one. How do you feel about the growing likelihood that President Trump is going to meet in person with Vladimir Putin?
Well, look, I think that it's always important for leaders to meet. My biggest concern is, what is he potentially going to give up in terms of making concessions to Vladimir Putin with regard to Ukraine or with regard to other issues in the world? I think that Putin definitely wants to meet with Trump. I think that he wants to try to get Trump to relent on sanctions, as well as other issues, and to take his side in the ongoing dispute in Ukraine and the war in Ukraine. And, we have to make sure that we side with Ukraine on these issues.
And Congressman, because you work so closely with China policy, President Trump has implied that he may call Chinese President Xi Jinping. Would you recommend that he make that call?
Sure. I think that, again, a leader-to-leader dialogue is good, but he has to be very clear about what he wants to see Xi Jinping do, which is Xi Jinping needs to stop with the economic, military, and technological aggression that he's practicing against not only the U.S., but our friends, partners, and allies. And basically, that economic aggression especially is hurting Americans and my constituents, whether it's dumping of products, or whether it's intellectual property theft or cyber hacking on an industrial scale. That all has to stop.
Congressman Krishnamoorthi of Illinois. Congressman, we thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app, or follow us on social media.